Okay, so that is what you can see in the room. Okay, what do you want to do?
Come with me, Celsian. Or
no, Celsian. What do you want to do?
I want to go to this sarcophagus and throw off the lid. Or try to get.
Okay, so Celsian is going there. What are you doing, Dina?
I'm gonna upload up the other one too.
Sorry.
I'm gonna go to the opposite side.
Okay, you can see 3. Okay, you're down on the ground. You can see 3 wooden coffins.
And open the lid of the left one.
Oh.
Okay, you will go forward. Dina will open the lid of that coffin.
Dina's not screwing around.
Okay, as you open up that coffin, you can see the drunk. He is lying in the coffin. He has wounds on his body. You can see that the wounds on his body are quickly regenerating.
Okay.
And he lies in there with his eyes closed. So that's what you will see there. Okay. In the meantime, okay, Celsian, you will go here, and it'll take you the full round to push the top off of the coffin. And as you do, inside, you will see the figure in the green cloak, and he lies inside the coffin. Okay, so you will reveal that. Raksha comes walking in after you. What are you doing, Kana?
I'm going to use Jagdis communication to communicate with
So you're
Dina.
doing a prayer, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, so do your prayer.
May these thoughts cross the great plains to reach the ones I need most. I'm trying to. I want to communicate with Dina to find out where the rest of them are. So I'm asking Dina, where
Hold
are
on,
you?
you've just done the prayer. So
Yes.
cross off the prayer. Okay. What are you doing, Tankard?
I have to rest again.
Okay, you are still resting. Okay, what are you doing, Iric?
Canada, you gonna go good with Tankard here?
She's in the middle of casting.
Okay, I'm gonna fly down the hallway as fast as I can and around.
Okay, what are you doing, Celsian?
I'm going to take out the sword and stab him in the heart.
Okay, so you pull out. Okay, you pull out the sword. And get over top. You'll thrust down into his chest.
Yes.
Okay, you don't have to roll. Okay, and okay, you pull the sword back out again. Okay, what are you doing, Dina?
I'm gonna with the crystal shard just grab his ankle, if he's prone, and just try to freeze him.
Okay, nothing happens. He covers. You can feel his skin's all pretty cold.
Can I try to like pull him out?
Hold on. So you tried to freeze him. Okay, what are you doing, Raksha?
I'm going to walk up. I'm going to say, Dina, help me. I'm going to take an ice fungi and put it in his mouth. And then I want to cut his head off.
Okay, stop.
Okay.
So you're coming forward. So you're pulling. So this round you're pulling out an ice fungi.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So Iric will end up coming around into here. Okay. Okay. So you are done resting, Tancred. What do you want to do?
So I'm done. Okay. I'm gonna say to Kana, let's go follow after these other guys.
I'm trying. Yeah, I just communicated with Dina, and they are in the other cavern. So follow.
Okay.
Follow me.
Okay. What do you want to do,
go in front of
Celsius?
me, and I'll tell you which way to go.
I'm going to call for Eric and his steak, or Iric and his steak.
Okay.
So
So
that
Iric.
time spent whittling, eh?
Okay.
I'm gonna go over top of the vampire, and for what I know, you put it over the heart and drive it down into his heart, a wooden stake.
Okay, Iric goes over top of the body. He puts a stake there. Okay, and then he starts pounding it down. It will break the rib cage. There's already a sword wound that was already beginning to heal. It'll go in, and all of a sudden, when it hits the heart, the eyes of the vampire open
Push
up.
down and hold
Open
it.
up. Are you protected from charm?
Yes.
Okay, you can see him going straight at you. He's gasping for breath. His hand's trying to come up towards your throat. His hand goes back
Push
down.
and hold
He's
it.
violently writhing about inside the sarcophagus. All of a sudden, you can see the skin is beginning to peel away from his body. He's gasping out for breath. You can see the fangs in his teeth as he's hissing, writhing about, and his skin is beginning to come off him. He is beginning to disintegrate.
Hold that stake
The
there.
flesh comes off of his body. It goes down to bone. The bone begins to turn to dust. And by the time you're done, there is only his clothes left in the sarcophagus. Okay,
Wow.
in the meantime, over here, okay, you have the ice fungi out.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in his mouth and then cut his head off.
Okay.
Following what Tarak did.
Okay, so I don't hear your explanation. Okay, so cross off the ice fungi.
Yeah.
Okay, and now you're going to try to cut off his head. You can roll the 20-sided dice.
Okay.
What's on the dice?
15 on the dice.
Okay, so you'll come down. Okay, and the head is off of the body of the drunk. Okay, what are you doing, Dina?
I'll go to the next sarcophagus and
The next
open it up.
coffin, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so you will open up that coffin. You can see an attractive dark-haired woman that you originally saw in the graveyard. She's lying with her arms across her chest, and her wounds are healing.
Okay. I'm just gonna
Okay.
let Roger do it again.
Okay, so you're standing there. Okay. In the meantime, what are you doing, Tancred and Cana?
Well, I don't want to miss any more. Actually, is the book still sitting on the altar?
Yep.
Actually, what I'm going to do is I have a vial of elven holy water,
Okay.
and I'm gonna pour it on the altar.
And I'm just gonna stay with
Okay,
Tancred because I don't
so
want to be
you will
alone.
turn and you'll pour it on the altar. It will hiss and sizzle and evaporate as the water hits the altar. Cross it off.
Okay.
You're staying there.
I'm staying with Tancred.
And then
I'm waiting for his
No, that's
direction.
it. Right. Okay, cross that off. Okay, over to Iric.
I'll go across, pull my stake up and go across to where the Dina and Ragshaw are, and I'll look at that pretty girl and say sorry, do the same thing. Bam! We
Okay.
got along for a while, but
Wham.
date's over.
Wham.
She
Okay.
didn't.
She
She
never
didn't.
really paid up her.
She didn't.
Okay, Iric will go forward and he will
Change all my
drive
promises.
the stake into the heart of the female vampire, destroying that vampire as well. Okay, and she will disintegrate into nothing.
Can I act then?
Yep.
I'll go to the next coffin and I'll open it.
Okay, you can see the other woman.
And I will repeat my process. Ice fungi in the mouth, cut the head off.
Okay, so cross off an ice fungi, and then you can roll to hit to try to cut the head off of the vampire.
Nine on the die.
Okay, the head is partially off.
Can I do it again?
Mhm.
15 on the die.
Okay, the head is off.
Okay. Is that regenerating at all?
Can I go back
He's
down?
got the head off and the body's laying with it.
I just want to go back down to the tunnel and call out to Tancred and
Okay.
Cana where we are.
Okay. Okay. What are
Iron.
you doing, Tancred?
And the book is still on the altar?
Yep.
Okay, I want to take a pouch, I have 2 left, and I want to sort of, I don't really want to touch the book, but I'm going to like sort of wiggle it with the pouch the book into the pouch and
Okay,
seal it.
so mark down the book.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Caleb?
I'm asking Tancred, should we go?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna wait for Tancred though,
Okay.
for him to go first.
All right. Okay.
In the
What's happening in this room here?
I'm gonna go to the fat drunk.
Okay.
And put the steak, do the same thing, and you just had your last drink, pal.
Okay, you'll put the cake once the steak goes in, the body begins to writhe and it will disintegrate.
I'll keep going to meet up with these guys.
Okay.
so yeah.
And then
Is
you're
okay?
doing
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing to the
Dana
last
told me where you are.
coffin and do the coffin.
Maybe you want this book?
okay. The vampire.
That's
Yeah.
probably
Got lots of pictures.
We'll investigate that.
It's a bedtime
Let's
story.
search.
Okay, I'll
Okay,
send
the
it.
vampires have been destroyed.
Jeez.
Let's search this guy
Oh yeah, whimpering dude.
Dumbass.
Let's search the whole
and then
complex.
head back
actually.
over and go.
Obviously, that
Can I
dumbass
sense
did something
evil
that
still?
Can you sense evil? You can sense evil coming from the altar.
Okay, and that's
I don't have
good.
something to break the
Reflecting
altar.
back on the
Give us that.
vampire in the green cloak.
Can I
He
shoot a
had dark hair,
flame it?
Do you have a
and
prayer to
he was.
sacrifice?
He kind of looked like the
Just
Shamarians
dispel
that we
magic.
run
Okay.
across.
Severed
You're not asking me
ties.
questions, but I can.
Does he look? Do he look Shamarian as I
They
would?
both look smart. Yeah.
Do you have a twitchy eye?
Yeah.
Is that cheating?
I was face to face with him.
Age, I guess it's hard to tell the age of a vampire, right? Middle age?
You know, they look like maybe 40s, maybe.
Okay. Alright. So my hunch is that the whimpering guy, that's the gravedigger, Calferno,
Right.
and Cespedo is the vampire. The green one. Somehow he found this book and did all this stuff, and he's the vampire.
Okay.
Now, hang on. If those secondary vampires, they didn't disappear when Green Cloak was killed, does that? I don't know how this works. Does that mean that
There's another vampire?
he wasn't
Yeah.
the head vampire?
Yeah.
I think so.
Shit.
What if it like is the altar
But it
cursed
could be.
or-
Can I
It
read
could be a connection.
that sarcophagus?
Those vampires
The
might
stone
be connected to
sarcophagus.
the.
I'm
to the
looking
altar.
to see if there's any
Like, there's the link.
inscriptions. No names. Okay.
Just some decoration on it.
Yeah.
From what everybody told me, and throwing this main vampire into hell.
Mhm.
Now, what I would see possibly being happening is these guys came along, are now connected to that main vampire that just got thrown into hell, and this altar right now is
I
the
can
link
close a gate.
to that.
I can,
So if you close that
I can close a
link
gate.
between them,
Okay.
then the problem is solved.
I can
Okay. Well,
close
let's
a gate.
all gather around the altar.
Yes. Let's go to the altar.
Okay, so everybody's
Do you want me
going
to
to the
close- I
altar.
can-
Yeah.
Let's search
Search.
their items if they had any after
If
they
we're
were
still in that one
Okay.
though, should I try and
Disintegrating.
close the gate?
You don't
Like
find
that.
anything of interest off of them. They just look like
And nothing on the
townfolk.
whimpering guy either.
Nothing of interest on them.
No.
Just his bow
We
and
just
arrows.
need to figure out how to close this.
I,
And
as a
break
witch,
this
I
thing.
can
There we go.
close a gate.
Nice.
I can try and close it at least. It's 23%, so I have to roll
I also have a
23 or under.
chance to close
I also
the
have a
gate.
chance, so let's all work.
We'll have to spend time here
Okay.
to perform
Let's-
a ritual to
let's
close the gate.
Take
So
whatever time we
Do you want
need
me
here.
the
to?
three of us could spend 1, 2, 3, 4 hours.
Mhm.
The other three could potentially search, see if there's anything hidden.
Okay, you guys do that. We'll search what we
Mhm.
can find, and you guys take care of the.
Just before I
this,
start that ritual,
summoning
maybe-
table or whatever it is.
Yeah, no, actually, I will take part.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Close the gate.
The three of us are gonna start
Close
a
the gate.
ritual.
You're not sensing that you don't believe that there's any gate.
Okay.
That's just an altar, not a gate.
Okay.
Can we?
Desecrate it.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Blast
that's I put the holy water on there. It's kind of
It
like-
looks like a roughly made altar, probably by them, obviously, where they carved out a bit of the stone to create a bit of the steps, and then they were just using a natural raised dais with the candles for prayer.
I'm gonna start kicking candles over,
Okay.
generally desecrating it.
Yes.
What if I
Destroy
shoot my-
this summoning.
And I'll put some dirt on it.
Yeah.
And if it's stone, I can't burn it, so
No.
I couldn't shoot my.
Well, we
bow
can just
at
take
it.
it apart, brick by brick, if need be.
Throw
It's
it into
natural
the
stone.
ocean.
Throw it into the ocean.
It's not-
So am I
it's
starting?
then-
Am
it's
I
natural.
feeling it? Like, am I feeling any
You gotta get a
evil
jacket.
lessening as
got
we're
one?
doing this?
I don't.
No, I mean, without like a sacrifice.
How do
Can
how do we disenchant an evil? Or not disenchant, but how do we desanctify?
Vampires are
Sacrifice
Would this be
I
magical,
sense-
like to
Sacrifice.
sever ties, dispel
Well,
magics,
Well, wouldn't
Can I
you?
sense
Well, I
I'm
negate. I
dead?
should have a negation.
negation ray?
Yeah.
It's
You
my ability.
you don't sense any undead anymore.
Okay, so that would tell us they're gone.
But did you shoot a negation ray at the book?
I did. Yeah, but it was.
You hit the book, not the, and I mean, I did a sever tie on one of the symbols.
But
just to
after all that
disrupt
was
it,
done, it still sizzled off the holy water. When it
Right.
Right, it's still an evil altar, but
Yeah.
without a priestly
What's
sacrifice,
the lot of having an evil altar?
we can't really do anything to.
What can happen?
We could cave in this area,
That's not bad.
possibly.
Well,
That-
what we could also do is go back to the Red Aneliot, explain exactly where this
Yeah,
is.
let him come do it.
Yeah,
And,
he
they,
can- he
and
can
now
clo- he
that
can-
that problem's
yeah.
taken care of, they can take care of
Destroy
that
the
altar.
altar.
Right.
They'll have the means to take
They
care
can
of the
cleanse
altar.
it, and they should
Hopefully.
cleanse it.
Okay, so let's get out of here.
But
Yeah.
hang on, do we still think there's another vampire?
I didn't
the-
sense any
We
more
don't know
undead.
that
But-
for sure. That's always speculation. Like this is, you're talking.
Well, it's the middle of the night.
So okay, yeah, we need to study this book.
Let's figure
Maybe
out-
he's got something out of this book that can turn yourself into a vampire.
Well, and I
Like
can't
how
sense
to-
any more undead,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Well, I would assume they found the book,
Take
and then
the
the
book.
two of them. Maybe the book was in the Magma's coffin.
Maybe it's
Maybe.
Could
I
have
don't
been
know,
in
but-
somebody's coffin.
And then they
this
did that
area
ritual.
from
Okay.
way back when.
So what are we gonna do? We're gonna
So I think we
take the
teleport out of here
Yeah.
to New Greyhawk.
Yes.
Is that where the Red Aneliot was?
Mhm.
And then we'll put up in the night in a tavern, study the book.
Well-
And tomorrow we'll.
Why don't we just go straight to the priest?
Let's go straight to the
It's like 2 in
priest
the
then.
morning.
Yeah, but this
Who cares?
is
I
important.
don't care.
We
Wait
can
till.
try to, but I'm not thinking.
Pretty sure the
it's-
priest will get up and
Oh,
we have a
yes.
yeah.
But they better fucking wake up. That's
You always
all I
like to
got
get
to
a
say.
room and have a nice sleep. Let's just get it done.
Yeah.
Do we want to spend 2 hours? Like, I think there might be other exits from the chamber over there. Do we want to explore these sea caves
No.
a bit?
No.
Okay.
No,
It's
let's
already
just,
up.
job's done, let's go get this to the priest and tell him, and no more fucking around.
I agree.
All right,
I'm
let's
gonna
do it.
teleport. Did I hear somebody say teleporting?
Who's
Yeah.
got a teleport?
I can-
Anybody?
I can
You got one?
teleport us, yeah.
Okay.
So we're all ready to go then?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
will use a 6-person teleport every 30 days to go to New Greyhawk.
I guess that would be 6 of us.
To New Greyhawk.
You beat your ground.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so Rarch is going to use a 6-person teleport, and he's going to teleport you from the sea caves to where in New Greyhawk?
The monastery. I helped defend it.
Okay.
In the Yanago campaign. That would the party report say? Go to New Greyhawk.
Actually, I don't remember. Yeah, we'll assume that's correct. I don't remember that part.
Okay.
It's gone again.
It's
gone
gone.
again?
Yeah, it must be a connection in the.
It's the length of the cable that we're pushing through.
Yeah,
Pushing the
I'm
power
unplugged
through.
here.
Okay.
You gotta unplug that cord again. Don't get any idea.
Just like Ben before was that?
You unplugged and replugged?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are in the town of New Greyhawk. You arrive. It is the middle of the night. You have arrived at the monastery.
Okay.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Go to the front door of the monastery.
Okay. So
Bang. Knock on the door.
you will awaken monks who will come to you in the monastery to the gods of war and magic.
We're looking for the red annelia.
Okay, so they have been alerted that the participant could be coming in, so you will be allowed to go into a chamber to sit and rest. Is anybody badly wounded?
Yes.
What's that?
19.
Okay, so you're extremely badly wounded.
So I can do. We're indoors. I can do a major.
Okay, so Kana begins. So gets we'll get Rarcha into one of the rooms of the monks.
42
And
under.
probably the larger prayer room, and she's no the door yet, and she's beginning to do work on him. Anybody else badly wounded?
No,
No. Okay.
I got you just down.
Okay. So you will sit and wait.
My animal
Okay. Anything that you're doing while you are waiting.
Anyone want to look at this book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any good picture?
We can use
Show
our
them
alchemy
that.
skill too.
Oh, that's actually that's right. Okay, let's.
So what's happening?
I'm gonna put on my gloves and pull the book out of the pouch.
You're studying the book, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So while you're waiting, you are studying the book. Okay, and you can roll for your surgery on Rarcha.
I'm gonna attempt major.
Get you up.
75. No. So, but my time is 66. Can I borrow 2d6, please?
Yeah.
So I can, if I have. Okay. 2, 4, 9. So 9 to 18, 180 minutes.
3 hours.
Yeah, so I don't have time to probably perform a minor, but I can give you healing out of my bag.
Hold on. You're. How long did she spend working on you?
3 hours.
3 hours.
Okay, so you're working on them for 3 hours.
Mhm.
Okay, that's all we need to know at that point.
Really.
Okay, as the sun is coming up, the Annihilate has been awakened, and he has been summoned, and he will come up to the monastery, overlooking the town of New Greyhawk. So he will come in towards you. He will see your wounds. He will see that you're all there, he will say report.
There was vampirism, and we think it was a local man from the village of Skawa who somehow, we're not entirely sure of the process here, summoned the power to transform himself and others into vampires. We have this book we found.
How can it be vampirism?
Well, that I can't tell you. I just
Okay.
have the story. But
Okay,
here's the book we found. There was an altar, and
You're handing him the book?
yeah, 2 hands. And there was an altar which still reeks of evil. There was not much we could do about that. In the sea caves below the Founders Rest Cemetery. So you might want to send
Okay, yeah, okay, so,
some people that can deconsecrate an evil altar.
okay, it's a local man was a vampire.
That's-
And something about sea caves. That's what I've heard so far.
There are sea caves.
The cemetery. down
Below
with
the Founders Rest. Okay, below the Founders Rest Cemetery, there are a series of sea caves. This is just one part of the
Where what was the
Lord Magma.
Lord
just
Magma?
let me toast. So okay, below below the Founders Rest, there are a series of sea caves. In
Founders
those
Rest isn't on the sea.
Tunnels that lead
or
to the sea.
the tunnels that lead to the sea. Sorry, you're correct. And below, in those tunnels, these 2 Skawans were performing evil rituals. I do not know the process or understand the process of vampirism, but there were at least 4 active vampires who are now destroyed. They were up to something. They accessed the tomb of Lord Magma from below. They had tunneled underneath the cemetery and then up into the mausoleum, opened the sarcophagus, and did something with the remains. We don't know what.
Of Lord
Of
Magma?
Lord Magma.
Sacrilege.
So that is the gist of the story. These 2 guys' names were Santos Suspido, and we believe that Suspido was the instigator somehow of this vampirism. And we believe he was one of the vampires. And the other one was Sitin Calferno, and he was just a lackey. There were 3 members of the Skawan community who were transformed into vampires. There was a woman by the name, well anyway, I'll tell the names. These 2 women that were raped and murdered, and then a drunkard who was bludgeoned, and they were transformed into vampires.
All the vampires have been killed?
As far as we know, yes.
But
Those 4 vampires were slain. If there are more up there,
Well, no, okay,
No, I don't believe there's more.
we don't believe there's more.
It's taken care of. The vampirism there has been taken care of.
I couldn't sense any more undead while we were there, and the only sense of evil we had was at the altar.
Okay, well that's good news. If you have wiped out all the vampires, then we may have contained this.
Yeah.
There was one thing that I found odd, and I don't know how this works. When we did kill who we assumed was this head vampire, the other vampires did not immediately expire. We had to go through and do the process of the stake.
How long? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're saying.
It's my understanding that when you kill the head vampire, the father vampire, the other vampires disappear or are no longer vampires.
Oh,
Maybe that's not true.
But who knows? How long does that take?
Okay. Well, then anyway, then okay. Then all the vampires that we know of are destroyed.
What is this book that you're giving?
This was the book.
This is a book of dark magic.
Yes.
It is. We found it on the altar. We believe that Suspido was using this in his rituals.
So this book needs to be studied.
That's why I'm giving it to you.
And probably destroyed.
Okay, he will hand it to one of his monks, and he will say, he mentions some name, he says get, and he says some name quickly that you don't hear. He will know what to do. He's the best with this stuff. Make sure he has all the help that he needs, and I want this book examined immediately, and I want constant reports as to what you are finding, and you'll hand the book. The monks will take it off to a scriptorium where they will begin to study it. You'll say, well done. That if everything you say is true that you report, then one thing that we have to discover is how this happened. Hopefully this book will give us the answer. Because we need to know how vampirism crept back, and then we need to know that it has been contained, and we need to know that how this creep happens so we can see if it's able to happen again for our purposes. But those are larger issues meant for different days. For now, you should probably take care of your wounds. And he will say, I will have your reward gathered and brought to you. Where do you wish to wait to find out what we find out from the book?
Yes.
So do you wish to stay here at the monastery, or do you wish to go somewhere else?
I'd rather stay at the tavern.
I would like to stay here.
I'll go to the tavern. I could really use a drink.
Exactly.
And one further thing, Red and Eliot. We believe, is it possible to send a group of monks from the city of Shamarnia to take care of that evil altar?
Okay, what evil altar?
There was a rough evil altar.
What rough? What do you mean?
It was. It looks like these two Skawans had crafted an altar. It was very rough. There was just candles on a raised platform in a cave. We sensed evil off of it. We were not able to remove that evil stain, and we believe that a ritual of some kind, a sacrifice of some
Who was
kind.
the altar to? Do you have any idea?
We don't know. We hope that
Was there any indication that it was satanic?
It did. I felt like it was satanic. I believe it was satanic.
So,
And
this
when
will,
you put the holy water.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will have authorities check out these sea caves. You're saying that these sea caves. So you're saying that Lord Magma's mausoleum has been penetrated from below.
Mhm.
And you're saying there's a tunnel that leads to the sea caves.
Yes.
So I want to have Magma's mausoleum taken care of and his remains taken care of, and I'll deal with this tunnel, and I'll deal with this altar that you speak of inside the caves.
The altar is
Yes,
at
thank you.
the mouth of the sea,
Okay.
so you can enter it that way without having to go through all the tunnels.
Okay. So he will tell you that he will get word to you soon if you need to sleep, if you need to rest. Your wounds can be taken care of here. They can be bandaged and
I'm buying tankard.
We'll both eat
good,
medicine.
couple good stiff whiskeys are gonna
That's how that
go
works.
a long way right about
Yeah,
now.
but if long enough has passed, I can again try. I can do minor as well.
Okay, so you will make your way to a tavern
West.
called the Pass.
Am I able to stay here for care?
Yeah.
And I'll-
they
of
will
course
bandage
I'll-
your wounds.
They're gonna take care of them, or should I stay?
That's up to you.
I can stay in.
Okay.
How many hours has passed?
Okay. So you will spend the day
Okay.
in Greyhawk. Anybody who is wounded can heal up 1 point.
And I'm gonna try to do.
Dina, are you going to the tavern or are you staying at the
Minor.
monastery?
Monastery.
Of
I
course
can
you
still
are.
give you
Why?
No, just saying.
52 and under.
Don't you drink?
Yep, got it.
No?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Drinking?
So, 3
Bye.
Come on, little fairy, let's go. Well, come on.
6, yeah.
Okay, just so you know, as a healer, you can't like do a major surgery on wounds and I'm gonna do a minor surgery
But
on
at
wounds.
time it passed and it says I can do.
Not in the same wounds.
No?
No, you do surgery once on somebody, you can't do it again. Right? It isn't like you can just keep doing so I can do 3, I can.
It doesn't count, it's just like, Trying
Once
to-
you do surgery on them,
But that surgery's
those
done,
wounds,
whether
that's
major, minor, or whatever.
Okay.
It's
okay,
surgery.
can I cast a prayer for him then?
Okay.
What?
Oh, it's okay.
Are you sure?
Where's the red guy's gonna fix him?
They can't fix it, they can clean his wounds
Oh.
and they'll bandage him. Okay, all right, so by evening, the 6 of you will be called back up to the monastery and for a report from what they've been able to glean during one day from looking at this particular book.
I have a tearful heal.
Okay, so our, where's our, okay, so we'll wait
Washroom.
for Silcian.
Is there any Serapia's turbot in the her bag?
I believe yes, there is. There's 3.
That's probably the
I
best
mean,
thing to
they
get
just
them.
take this.
Take that. Okay. So you're gonna take us around.
Okay, stop.
No, I'll mark it on my sheet.
Because
Okay.
otherwise that means he's out for 24
Yeah,
hours.
yeah,
and
you'll
can't-
take it
Okay,
tonight after we're
just
done here.
take.
Okay,
I'll
so
take
cross
it out,
off
is what I'm
8,
saying.
cross off the Serapi Turbot, and give 1 to Rarcher.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Good catch.
Okay, so when you are gathered with the Annihilate, he will inform you what he has learned from studying the book. He will say that the book of dark magic is actually a powerful and important grimoire entitled the sacred magic of Amberline the Mage. The sacred magic of Amberline the Mage. Amberline is spelled Abrammelin. Abramelin. Abramelin. Abramelin the Mage. Okay, so it's a grimoire. Grimoire. Okay, so what they've been able to, because in this book there are pieces of parchment shoved in of notes written by this Sentes Cespito. So what they have been able to piece together is that from these pieces of parchment in there is that Sentes Cespito and his best friend Seaton Calferno, who is the gravedigger, they learned dark secrets from this particular book. They formed a cult. It looks like on December the 6th, 359. They began learning and praying to dark forces using the book. So they discovered the book. And they formed their little cult. They began doing small ceremonies out of the book, small little rituals out of the book, or so it seems. They set up a base in the sea caves on the eastern shores of the Bay of Foundation at the end of March in 359. They discovered that one of the deepest caverns from the sea caves penetrated fairly close to the borders of Founder's Rest, the old local burial site. Now in the book, they found they obviously found a ceremony, and this is where it gets interesting and a little bit troubling. It seems that this book relays a ceremony on how to create a vampire. Now that it cannot be done on its own. Okay, so here's where they believe vampirism was indeed eliminated from the world when the Party of the Pendant defeated the father of all vampires. But forever is a long time, and the shadow never rests. It is always lurking in the dark recesses, awaiting an opportunity to return. The vampire Strahd planted a seed of doubt in Lord Magma's heart before the founder of Shimar died. That seed lay dormant until someone came and found it and nurtured it and allowed it to grow again. And what did not exist exists again. While Lord Magma's physical form decayed in death, his heart remained whole because it had the seed of doubt planted in it. And in this book, they read that if they learned that the seed was planted, so this book indicates where seeds have been planted by Count von Strahd. And so if the heart is removed and placed into the chest of a recently slain person, that person will become a vampire, is reborn as a vampire. So Strahd obviously planted seeds dealing with the fact that if he was destroyed, if vampirism was destroyed, it had the chance to return again. And that seems to be what has happened here. They learned about Magma's heart. They knew that he was buried in Founder's Rest. They buried their way in. They got the heart. They took it back. It seems that when they took it back, they did the ceremony. They basically killed, or the gravedigger, Seton Calferno, killed Sentes Cespito, removed his heart, and placed Magma's heart into his body. At that point, apparently, he was reborn as a vampire. From that point on, the cult, things began happening very quickly. We believe that the ceremony to create the vampire occurred in July of 360, so just last summer. Sentes Cespito, according to these little pieces of parchment, we've been able to piece it together that he seems to have had some kind of childhood crush on the miller's wife. So he immediately went for her, used his power of charm and seduction. He charmed a local woman by the name of Abraria Minata, the miller's wife, long of his affection. She was killed in the middle of July. She was found dead. She was buried. She rose again, and she joined the cult. Abraria apparently seduced her best friend, the smith's wife, bit her. She was found dead. She was buried. She rose, and she joined the cult. It seems that a village drunk by the name of Fel Calano saw too much, and he was beset upon the girls, who killed him. He rose again, and he became a vampire also, and he joined the cult. That's why the local drunk was with him. From what we can tell from these notes, the cult obviously needs to feed, and so they were planning on leaving Skawa because they believed that things were getting too hot for them there. It seems that they knew that the Party of the Pendant was coming because they went and they had some type of interaction with the Iron Claw. It seems that the vampire used his charm ability to charm the Iron Claw, to hire the Iron Claw to come after you, to basically thwart your efforts, hopefully stop you, hopefully turn you back, so that they could have time to pack up and leave. So they were in the process of planning to get out of there. Now, let's say there's one worrying note here. And this is not coming from the Black Book, but it's coming from the accounts and the scribblings of the gravedigger. He talks about the family of gypsies that we heard about that drew our attention to come and find you. This family of gypsies, according to them, was killed and they fed upon them. Did you find anything about this family of gypsies?
We found their bodies, and all their bodies were still in the graves. We did go to their burial site.
Okay. Did you take care of their bodies?
We reburied them with rites, but not.
Were they bitten by the vampires?
Yes.
Yes. Does that mean they will rise?
Okay. Okay, so that's a problem. That's a problem. Okay.
We know where we buried them.
You can tell us where these graves are.
Yes.
If they're still in the graves, those bodies are going to have to be dealt with properly, so that they do not turn into vampires.
Yeah.
I could go there immediately by myself.
Okay. So okay. So that's what we have managed to learn so far. Do you have any questions?
No.
No, that sounds fairly.
Nicely wrapped.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Have your monks been able to extract the other locations of the seeds of
yeah.
vampirism yet?
No. and they're not indicated in here. It's just indicated that
Right.
seeds plural. It's one line
Yeah.
that we're interpreting. So we don't know if it was Magnus Heart and only Magnus Heart, but it says seeds of doubt. I don't. So everything could be fine and it could be handled, but there's a possible avenue here that needs to be dealt with.
Okay.
Okay, so he will present you each with a wineskin. So the Annihilate will hand you each your reward. It's a skin of the vine, and that means a wineskin full of wine. You will get and priests will be brought in, and they are going to do a rune of protection on you versus whatever you like. So they're going to do a rune on whatever item you want, a religious rune that will offer you protection against one form of attack.
Charm would be fitting.
I'm pretty sure that's.
And they will also give you each 3 Dranchen Grab vines. DRANCHENSGRAB. Dranchen's Grab. DRANCHENSGRAB. Dranchen's Grab. Dranchen's Grab vines. So 1 skin of the vine, a sacred rune. Once you decide what you want, you can add it to your sheet. So protection versus disintegration, protection versus death magic, protection versus negation, protection versus poison, protection versus charm, behead, whatever you want. Protection versus behead, whatever you want.
Oh,
What is the skin of the vine?
Yeah, I'll get the information on
Okay,
the one.
so I'm gonna do charm.
Yeah, try.
And that can go on any item, or it goes on a specific.
Any item.
That's one an item.
Okay.
I'll do that.
I'm
Put it
gonna
on my
do that as
family
well.
pendant.
Rune versus behead.
I'll put it on my holy symbol.
Thank you.
Okay, the wine. Okay, the wine is 200 hit points of healing each. Okay, so you each have a wine skin, and it's got 200 hit points of wine. You can drink as much or as little out of the wine skin when you take it.
Thank
The
you.
descriptions of the Dranchen Grab finds are available in the Gods of War and Magic prayer book.
Is vine the same as the stalk?
You
So
have
we'll have to- there's a whole process.
3 Dranchen Grab
Right,
vines.
gotcha.
Okay. The Annihilate will say, I assume that. Do you wish this book?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll put it in the cave.
In the library.
Okay, so he'll hand it back to you. You've got it on your sheet.
Yep.
Okay, so you've got it down, and make sure you got the title of the grimoire.
And we'll, I'll transfer it to the cave.
Okay. Is there anything else?
do you know anything about the mage who made the grimoire?
Like that family that was bitten.
We've only had the afternoon
Killed
to
their
study it so
vitals,
far,
they would be killed.
so we don't know who this mage is or what this name is.
What's that?
What's the name? Amberline?
Amberline.
Is that what it actually is? Or
There's an M.
No, I wrote down
Ambramelin.
Abrameline.
Abrameline. Yeah.
have you heard of him? I'm not. It says wizard, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What does it say?
Mage.
Amberline the mage.
Not sure what that means. Not sure if he's not sure who he was. Does that name mean anything to anybody?
No.
Amberline?
No,
We'll
we'll check the party reports and see if he shows up.
And it is spelled Abramelin.
That's correct. Line.
Line.
Yeah, line.
Sounds like a
Abram
girl.
E. Line.
Okay. Okay, so he will thank you again for undertaking the mission. If he learns anything more about this particular mission, he will have word sent to Pendant Estate. If you learn anything more about vampirism on Shimar, he would like to be consulted.
And you can send operatives to deal with the gypsy family?
Will they not be dead, anyways? If we killed
You gotta check.
the fighter?
He will send
But
his
it's best to
the
just check.
exorcists are going to go to find
Yeah.
that grave, and they're going to dig it up, and if he finds the bodies, they're going to be staked
Please let us know if you cannot find the
if
bodies.
the bodies are not there.
Yes. Or if you have trouble
We can't find
locating
it.
it.
We had trouble finding
It's, I'm assuming that they will be there, that would make
it. I
sense.
think we marked them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we can also, as rangers, probably pretty accurately.
All right. We will stop the
Alright.
session there. The mission has been completed.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, we did.
Well done.
13?
Yeah.
Well done, well done.
Sheets for experience.